If you at home want to know how to draw zombies like these two here, stick around and watch this video as I take you step by step on how you at home can do just that. Let's go. The zombie here is start off with a basic shape. So here, keep it real loose. Start off with this circle, and even when you're putting the circle in, don't worry about being too perfect. Just there you go, there's a couple of edges here, and sometimes you use these like edges around here and they come into really good use later on. So like so you've got a basic circle in, and then we're going to do the two cross lines on the face, because he's going to be facing this direction. Pew! I'm going to have a curvature line here, and if I was going to face it this way, I'd have a curved line here. But like I said, for this sketch today, it's going to be facing off to the left side of the paper. Also guys, if you want some back thought of what's happening, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. The best way how I draw is it all comes from my mind. So the only way I can actually teach you is not teach you about a square or a rectangle. I trust you know that already. I'm just going to tell you exactly 100% what's coming through my mind as I'm drawing. That way it's the only way I can teach you guys. So now you've got the crosshairs in place. I'm looking to put an eye in this spot here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. Let's just start off here with not even a circle. How we had the first shape. So it's kind of a round shape, but I'm keeping it as loose as I can. And the reason I'm keeping it loose is because a few of these loose sketch lines, like I put here, I'm just sketching in like this. Let's even do that. I'm going to use them later if they look good. Because my main goal is to try to keep a flow element throughout the whole image. And if I'm being too rigid and too close to the paper, you end up losing a lot of cool shapes you could have used. So there we go. This eye I want kind of sunken into the face for the zombie. And to this side, we then move over to here. Sometimes if I'm trying to get the distance, I like to draw like a rainbow line, like that, like an upside down C. And then I know the nose is going to be around about this point, so the eye will be here. Once again, really loose circle-like shape. And I put a circle in place. And if you're wondering about should you know exactly what you're going to draw before you get to the paper, absolutely not. Just start putting shapes down and build up from there. Here I'm just putting a smaller circle in this square shape, just so you can see. That way it's going to look really sunken into the face. If you notice the zombies, with the nose section, they can have a nose, like, it depends how decapitated the zombie is. I mean, if he's been rotten for years, yeah, he's probably going to lose his nose, as it's, you know, it's cartilage, it's not actual bone. So if you see my skull tutorial, we're going to put this triangle shape in for the nose. And I'm being loose always. It's very hard if you're a beginner artist to be loose, because I know you want to keep it perfect throughout and you don't want to ruin the piece of paper, but you've got to just tell yourself that it's not that serious. And every artist is different. I know some people really beat themselves up on being loose and flowing. And if you're one of those artists, yeah, you've got a hard journey in front of you. But if you are someone who can just relax into the drawing, completely do that. Now for this eye, I'm going to cut it in half where we have the round circle. That way it looks a bit more menacing now. And with this eye, I can either now keep it open, or will I shut it? I'm gonna shut it just to stay together. So then I'm going to draw a line, cutting the eye like so, and making it look like a real, like, really Stoteppy sort of style now. Okay, now I've got the two circles and basically a triangle in place. I'm just gonna add a few smaller shapes around the nose to make it look more broken in. Like so. And from here, I'm now going to start to move on to the mouth shape. For this, I want it to look like the zombie is like opening his mouth, like he's already about to eat something. Before that, I'm just going to do a really loose, almost rectangle here. Just like so. Like I said, I'm not trying to be too perfect. I'm trying to keep it purposely loose. Yeah, So now I'm going to put the teeth in. So where this comes through, I'm going to adjust it here, and then just put the teeth in place. And I'm extending the teeth outwards to make it look more like they're pushing forward. That way it looks a bit more scary and way more stylized. And that's probably a good thing with a zombie, is you actually have a lot of error to not be perfect, because it's a zombie. Like, he's been beaten up, decapitated. If you want half of his head taken off, take half his head off. Like, the story you want to portray what the zombie's been through is entirely up to you. Put him on fire, put him, there's so much cool things you can actually do when drawing a zombie yourself. So don't be afraid to diverge off what I'm showing you and add things which you might think, oh, it would have been cooler if you did this, because you will have better ideas in your own head of what things will look like. Now here, I'm going to draw these shapes, these little, what do you say they are, like kind of these curves. So I'm trying to express the cheekbone area. So here, it's just like a little tick upwards, and this will give you that bone, which if you know what a skull looks like, this is just from a skull reference point of view. And the same here, it gets mirrored this side there. I'm gonna actually use this, but it's just giving me a structure to the face, and obviously you can give it much more of a dawn look to it. Now from this side of the face, I'm looking to pull in, because if you divide the face, this side is in the background, this is more in the foreground. So this, I'm looking to draw close to the mouth. So rough line, just here, like so. Now he is one ugly looking fellow. He is looking like my stepdad, for sure. Good morning, Jimmy. Get your eggs and bacon. Yum yum. Now that that's in place with the chin, I'm just gonna add a few little details here, very lightly. Just some dribble and stuff. Or blood. And whatever you want. And from here you start to build up on it now. Now you've got some of the basic foundations in place. You might think, okay, the mouth is ended there, so let's do some rips in the mouth. And for that, literally let your pencil really loose. And look, I'm not even thinking where, I'm just putting it in place. Maybe make some bigger ones there, and maybe you can see like a tooth behind there. Like so. This thing is looking hella ugly, I must say, but the more ugly, I suppose, is the better it's gonna work for you by having a zombie. Because I don't think anyone's ever seen a pretty looking zombie in their time. Now that that's done, I'm just gonna put some ear shapes in. Here I'm just gonna do some square-like shapes. They're like round, but they're also squared off. I don't ever do any perfect like Mickey Mouse round ears. They're always like, they are a round shape but squared off down a circle. Like so. You don't have to do your ears this big, by the way. This is just with my style. Like, my style is known for having like almost monkey ears on every character at the moment. That's just something I do, and I kind of think it adds more of a distinguished look. So when people see it, they know instantly, oh, that's Sotep's piece. And that's something you can incorporate with your own art. If you are skilled, sometimes it's good to have a few tricks up your sleeve where you can just, people can instantly see it's your art. So I don't know, you might always add a gold tooth, so people go, oh, that's that person's art. Or even your color palette is quite important. Like arts like Kipto, like his blue and reds and gold, instantly you can distinguish it's his before you even can see what he's drawn. So that's just another little tip. Anyway, now we're looking to connect this to the ear. It's not a straight line, which some people do. If you do that, you end up with this really weird face. But what we're aiming to do, instead of straight, you can draw straight lines for the guide, and then you're looking to create a triangle about here. So you're coming down, that creates the jaw, and then comes in. And then you can follow that straight line from this point. Don't worry about this was just a guide, and then we're pulling it inwards just like so. Bam. Eyebrows, completely up to you. Eyebrows, you just basically want to like, now you put that circles are in place. This side, you just want to follow that up. If you just want to like that sort of expression. Eyebrows, one of the key things to create many expressions. So if you want to change his expression, let me just show you how. Like on this one, if I have it coming down, it adds aggression. You'd have to go study facial expressions yourself to find out what are the best expressions for your character. If you want it more relaxed, have the eyebrow going up. That's just one of the features that you can add to yeah, just change a whole image just by changing the eyebrow expression. Here, just gonna give some 4-line wrinkles, just put these rough lines in, and then we'll just put the eyebrow in place. Keep it quite casual for now, just so you guys can get the gist of it. And what I like to do, because it's quite illustrated style, is just put a few lines on the forehead. And then I'm just going to follow the first initial line we put in place. What I think would be correct to this image. So he's got no hair at the moment, but by doing so, I've got a good foundation now to start adding more details and final bits. Just keep going, keep building it up. Just like so. Add some like olive spots, these little spots here. Just gonna put it really rough from now. The temple would be sort of here. Maybe a few loose hairs. For the loose hairs, just really let your pencil loose and just let that, like these S shapes, but really loose. Super duper loose. You can do anything from this point. You can put like a hat on him. You could just do whatever you feel like you want to do and what's right. Here actually I'm gonna do like maybe some arrows in the head. This is just coming up as I go, guys. This is why I said at the beginning, you know, some art teachers will teach you, you know, the basic form, structure. I've never worked that way, so I can't teach that way. Obviously learn the basics, learn the structure, but I can just tell you how to create as I go, and hopefully you start seeing the build-up of the different shapes and how I go about creating a character. And then I'm just putting some random shapes here, just these like small circles, and that's just going to implement like the pepperoni on the head, you know, the red splats of blood and gore. Maybe you want half the ear just chopped off, so just add that in, like, oh, his ear's like been decapitated, been chewed on, just like so. And I'll just do another arrow coming from the back of the head. And you at home, if you're following along, draw whatever feels good for you. Put them on fire if you want to. Really just have fun with it, and just try not to take it too seriously. For the body, I'm actually going to just do, first of all, from the back of the head, I'm looking at almost like a letter shape. So from here, I can just feel it. This line, okay? This line is the line I'm going to follow, but I'm going to have it so his back is this way. So first I'm just going to draw this in place. That just gives me a basic structure. And I want his hands this side. So he's twisted, his body is twisted. So really loose. And the shoulder would then be here. I'm not putting anything indefinitely just yet. I'm just keeping the loose lines. Now that that's done, I'm going to then start working on the hands. For this, I'm going to put a hand here. So if you see my hand tutorial, I'm just going to literally draw a rectangle, a flat rectangle here. Just give me a basic structure. And then I start on the first finger, but just drawing these loose lines. So let's say there's finger 1. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on hands, there is one on the channel where we do fill up a whole page of hands. But for now, I'm just going to keep it really simple and just in the audience face. And my goal here is also to try and make the hand look kind of broken, so you can get away with little things that aren't 100% anatomically correct. Like I'm just doing, add a few folds around the fingers. So I don't want to go into too much detail with the hands. I'm going to concentrate more on the zombie himself. But then the arms come in. The arms come in just there in front. Just like so. And then with the second arm, hand, sorry, we're going to do like a rectangle this time, and let's do it coming up. So we'll have one finger this way, same with the second, these small rectangles, the thumb there, and then you can have him like, have him holding something. And this is how a lot of the characters were built. You start off with a shape, the basics, and then you build to tell a story. So let's just say for a laugh, we pick a Louis Vuitton handbag, okay? And this is where it gets fun. This is actually the funnest part of me. So, okay, he's got like an LV, Louis Vuitton sort of handbag with the pattern on. And now he could be like a Robin Hood. He's got arrows in his head, he's a Robin Hood zombie, stealing from the rich, given to the zombie family. Yeah, and then that leads to like a cool background. Now we can add a background to it. Like, okay, he could be in a bank. You could have a background now with a bank here, people behind the cash register, put a shotgun in his arm. Then you create a whole world just from that. And that's what's so cool about the human imagination, is it builds upon itself. And then you can do it where it's like the zombies have been pushed down from human civilization. Like they're like a second-class citizen, so now they want to get their own. Yoink, and now he's stealing. Anyway, I digress. Now the second's in place, I'm connecting it. The hand's connected to the body. And where this comes in, I'm going to bring it now to this shape forward. For the clothes, I'm just going to put some folds in place. And then just obviously some rips. The rips were the same as the pepperoni on the head, just small circles for now, with little ticks off the side. But I can go more on that later when we start getting the darker tones in, and then I can show you exactly how to start putting in more rips and more textures. Okay. The clothes come to the front. Here I'm going to do them with those bags that go around the body, those little man bag things. Leave it a few shotgun shells here on the front. Just extra storytelling elements, and then maybe like a bag on the side. Just some sort of bag on the side, really loose rectangle shape. And then his clothes will come this way, with his leg this side. Look how loose I'm keeping the pencil. I'm not looking to put anything in final here, that's something I can't stress enough. Stay loose throughout. And then I'm just going to put some like small circles around to give it more movement. It's like a little cheat. If you just add these small little like, it looks like the thing's shaking more. Like so, maybe some flies even. Do some flies, because he's probably not going to be smelling the best. He's going to be needing that right guard. And that is the basic foundation, guys. That is the sketch mark. And if you look into yourself thinking, oh, it looks like a mess, when I say it's the foundation, a foundation is just a point where now we can build upon. So what you want to do is get yourself, well, hopefully you kept all the lines loose. That's another thing, keep the lines really light as well. You want to just grab yourself a darker pencil, and now this is where you start picking everything you want to keep. So imagine now it's like a chisel, and you're just chiseling the lines you want to keep from here, later on to dispose of the lines you don't want. So this will be half and half time lapse to me speaking as I go through, and yeah, we'll just start working through it bit by bit. Right, now firstly, you want to make sure the pencil is nice and sharp. So it's got a nice sharp edge. And to show you exactly what I mean with what we're doing, got this nice close camera view. On this side, I'm going to chisel around. So where you got the rough lines, I want to keep this circle. So go around it. Boom. Thicken it up with double line. Double lines is where we get two lines next to each other. With the goal to shade it in, like this. Boom. And now I'm still following the lines I put in the beginning. Okay, so I like this line, so I'm putting it in place. Happy little line, looking perfect. Ooh! And now we start adding a few layers of shading. So from here, it's gonna be dark, and we just shade from there, outward. Okay, then we keep going. This line here, I'm keeping it. I think it was a mistake line, and I'm just keeping it anyway, so then I put another line around. Is it right or wrong? I don't know. Does it look cool? Yes, I like it. And that's what's important. Do you like it? Ask yourself, do you like it? And is it correct? And sometimes when it isn't correct, it kind of still looks good, which is a weird thing. And now with this line, that double line thing I just showed you, line 1, little tick up, following it, line 2. And this is a really fun process where you get to play around with little shapes. Like here's no line, but above that, okay, I just feel like adding a line. So I'm doing so. And I add another one. Why? I'm just feeling in the moment. I'm feeling more than I'm just thinking. I'm not even really thinking at this point. And if you get frustrated and you want to get to that stage, it's just practice. Practice, practice, practice until you just let the pencil do most of the work and the initial sketch. So here's a tick that should have went all the way around, but here's a line which was a mistake, but I'm using that now to add that curve, and now it's got a new dimension to it. It's kind of one of those things you really just have to go grab a pencil and experience, and then you start feeling out, oh, this is what Sotep was saying. I'm just going to shade in this block here, and move on up, like so. And this is going to have an eyelid, so we've already put it in place. This is a line, like I said, this line probably doesn't exist in the anatomy of a human, which is what I'm basing it on, but it kind of looks cool, and it's different, so I'm taking it. And this is just how I work with my style. Sometimes really obscure or random shapes, I would just like to have in. Otherwise it's just too obvious, it's what everyone else is doing. But I like that, like I said, I like that, and I'm just showing you guys a few tricks and tips which hopefully you can take and improve. And if you are finding these helpful, please let me know in the comment section. That really helps me to guide out better videos in the future of what parts you like understand and which parts you don't understand. Because I want the eyes to pop, I'm going to try and make as much darkness as I can around this eyeball. So I'm just going to keep building up darker shapes around. And doing the nose, it's just the same process, so okay, I'm keeping that in. Remember, you can keep things and take things, entirely up to you. And I'm just going to follow this shape around, keep it jagged with the looseness I have in place. And then bring it in. Here I want the nose hollow. And just shading in the darker areas like this. That's going to be in shadow, so keep that dark. Here we have a few like the holes around the nose just to make it chiseled in, and I'm just adding them as well. And this is just a process. I'm going to go through the whole image like so. Adding and taking, adding and taking. Not too concerned about rubbing out just yet, as I'm just feeling out the shapes I want to keep. Or accentuate as well. Like here on the lip, I'm accentuating that now from the foundation. Anything on the foundation you notice, remember now's the perfect time to rub out and adjust. So yeah, you might want to say, okay, I want the ear different. You just rub bits out and then redraw things in darker. But yeah guys, I'm going to go over the whole image now, time lapse it for you. And yeah, you get in more of a in-depth view of what's going on and what's happening. Go! And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been following the same process, getting rid of the foundation and add the darker tones, you end up with a little guy that looks just like him here. Yeah, really a little fun. And even now, you can just keep building it with the shading. You might be someone who likes to shade it super dark. If that's your lane, you own that. And if you're someone who likes to keep it light and have softer lines, like that really soft look, then own that. You have to find your way. This is what's so amazing about this. I'm just giving you the ingredients to the soup right now. And it's the same if you give the ingredients to 10 different people. Everyone's gonna end up with a different soup. And you at home have to find your own way of making things happen. This is just giving you how I would approach it. You might decide, well, I don't like this, and that's amazing. Now take that information, add it to your next drawing, and your next drawing, and before you know it, you carved out your own style completely, while just picking up a few tips from this one here. But seeing as we've got a big bit of paper here, and we've got all this empty white space, and I love bringing this content to you guys, we may as well do another zombie for you today. And this time, to keep it balanced, we got the male zombie. Let's do ourselves a female one. And because I'm just trying to make use of the paper size, I'm just gonna fit it in here. Once again, the same procedure. Step one, just pick a basic shape, but this shape, instead of being so round, let's just square it off a little bit more. There we go. Square it off, and basically the foundation shapes really do alter the future of the drawing. And if you know by now, it's facing this way, curved lines like so. And we'll already curve this one in, so I don't want the eye to be here. Okay, for the girl, same again. Draw a circle, and circle on the same side. This one's going to be smaller than this one because this is facing the audience, and it's a three-dimensional shape we're working on. This is what the center line does. It helps us to distinguish more of a three-dimensional base of the foundation. And for the girl, I kind of want her to make, like, she's a zombie, right? She's going to be like dead, but also quite sexy, I suppose. So still got that makeupness. Hard to explain. Sounds kind of weird, but I'll show you what I mean as we go. Now we're just putting a frame in the eyes. So here I'm just following the shapes we put in with these double line shapes, and give it some winged eyeliner just to give it that makeup look, like so. Okay, now I've just got two basic eyes in place. I'm also going to do the eyelid. Here's a lot more open than this one, and still keep them really loose with the pencil lines. So two eyelids, which are just lines that go over the eyelid like that, but as I'm coming up, it's getting more distance from, and then it kicks back in, like so. Here I'm just putting a few lines under the eye, and by doing so I'm just doing these small U shapes under, from here to this point. I'm just sketching them in so I've got a rough line later on where I'm going. But this one hasn't got a nose, so in this one I'll give it a nose, and you basically want to stick to the same sort of human features. For this, you want to draw like a, what would be like an octagon shape. Really loose again. Depending on how big you want the nose, you can do it like this, or you can do it small. And here, we'll just do a nostril, which is a small C shape underneath. And you'll end up with something that looks like this. From here, I'm going to move on to the lips, and I want the lips being bigger, more fuller. And to do that, I'm just going to draw a small M shape at the top. As you can see, that's going to be the top lip, and the bottom lip's normally always bigger. And just pull it back. And that's the rough line for the lips from the nose. Just like so. Once you've got the key features in place, I'm now going to then concentrate on the structure of the face. because I've got this square line, I kind of like that square line there. I might actually kind of use that, but come out a little bit onto the right side of the face and round it off towards the lips. But as it comes in, I'm not looking to go under here, which is probably be like one of the key spots. I'm actually aiming to come from the face, the lips, this side here. So you end up with something like this. And now I'm imagining that line's coming through and then it's rounding off on this side here. Just like so. Just make some small adjustments to it until you get a shape you like. And once you're happy with it, you can then move forward. But before that, I'm just bringing this down to the lips. And I want the lips to basically overhang, so I'm just going to continue that shape around. Just like so. Now the ears, once again, you've got the same circles. So here I'm just going to do some round circles. This side here. And now we've got the basic setup. Start adding more zombie features from here on out. To make it look more like a zombie, give it more of a zombie image, I'm going to give it like the staple. So it's more like a Frankenstein. So here I'm going to do half the face being stapled together. Put a plaster on the nose. So this is where you can let your imagination really let be loose and just think with yourself what kind of zombie you want. There you go. This one's like more to me is like a realistic sort of zombie. This is more of like more illustrated, more from like the Frankenstein era. Just pierce eyebrow above here. Just for an eyebrow, just a simple line and doubled up, following that. And same for the other side, just like so. Continue that cut across the face with the staples. And here I kind of want half of the face ripped off, so here I'm just going to do like a square shape from the mouth. So now you can see the skull shape. And here I'm just going to do these small little teeth. And some ripped skin. And same for the bottom jaw. If you want to know how to draw skeletons, that will really help on this. There is a skull tutorial. And I'll just take you through all the steps on my channel, so go check that out if you want more in depth of how to draw the skull bit. But that would just give it more of a dead feeling to it, make it look more of a zombie. And there you start having the build up to creating your very own zombie. Now here, just for the creative, I'm going to put some earrings, just some small circles around the ears. If you're doing yours at home, once again, add whatever you like. You might want to add loads of piercings to the ears. Just do what makes you feel good. Now as for the hair, we're just looking to build up from the basic shape, which is here. And let's just do it like Ariel almost from Disney. Just like so. And comes back in. And there's obviously a really cool collection of like the whole Disney zombies. So I'm sort of playing off on that here. And just feather a few loose bits of hair here. Just like so. and some loose strands curling around the head. Yeah, just like that, really loose for now, and then later on we can build on that and give it much more flow with some loose strands flowing around. And that would be the basic shape of the head today. Next up, we want to move on to the body area for this, so we can have it interacting more with this sort of side. Same with the hand again. We can do it so she's holding like a baseball bat or something. So once the rectangle's in place, I'm going to draw like a bat shape, just roughly for now, so I know what to put in later on. And from the rectangle, I'm just going to do it so the fingers are coming down here, like so, and a thumb up here. See how I'm drawing the hands first without, I'm not worrying about the body too much just yet. And here is the hand just coming over the bat. If you want more of an in-depth tutorial on hands, like I said on the channel, there's a full video on hands. So if you are struggling with this part, I've got you sorted on the channel. And here we do how holding the rug, like cleaning the bat. Sorry. So that's the whole thing about the story elements as well. As I'm going, I'm starting to think of the story element of it. So now she's cleaning the baseball bat. Just put some more details here in the lips. And obviously there's going to be some splats and blood on the face. So for that I'm just literally just letting the pencil put in these rough guided shapes. Just for later on. Now here I'm going to do the shoulder coming up really high. Boxing that shape off there. That's then going to connect the arm. Maybe give her like a number on the arm. Maybe she's like a zombie baseball player. And that's the really fun thing about the element of it all, is now you can start playing around with ideas. Like that. And then for the shape of the body, I'm going to bring it in and really accentuate the back. And the same goes for the front here. And obviously the arm then will be behind the baseball bat, so I'm just putting this block in right now, just getting the shapes in place. Like so. Just similar to the one previously. You want to adjust the foundation lines until you get to a place where you're happy with it. And then you can take your darker pencil and go over the whole thing and darken up the areas you want to keep, leaving out the parts you don't want to do. So for this, I'll just time lapse it, the same process as this zombie we did earlier, and then we'll bring a conclusion towards the end. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, how you at home can draw yourself a zombie, whether male, female, really degraded and broken up, or freshly turned into a zombie. It's entirely up to you. Thank you all so much for sticking around on this journey, and I must say a massive thank you to everyone on the Patreon. Without you guys, these videos would not be possible for me to make, and this content would not be able to be free for the whole world to enjoy on YouTube here, on this platform. So massive thank you to you all. Anything else you want me to draw, or you want to learn to draw, let me know in the comment section, and I'll try my best to make it happen for you guys. So keep creating, guys. Send me your pictures over on Instagram at Sotep1. I'd love to see. Just keep going strong, enjoy what you do, and peace.